Hey everybody, it's Josh from American Iron Off-Road. I want to introduce to you the 1200 series. This actually fits the Dana 60 Ford models from 1992 all the way up to 2005. It actually features a double-ended stud on the lower like our other systems do. The upper is a little bit different on the Dana 60 Fords. It's actually a one-piece bolt with a custom taper on both ends. Every American Iron product starts with the foundation of biomechanics, which is the study of how the body moves and functions efficiently. My background is actually in physical therapy, 16 years as a therapist, and so all the design features from a ball joint delete system stem from biomechanics. So in biomechanics, we have these theories of stability and mobility, and they don't actually come together. So if you increase the stability of a joint, you take from its mobility and vice versa. So an example of that is a shoulder joint versus a hip joint. Shoulder joint is very, very mobile, but it's not very stable. So that's why we walk on our feet with our hips being stable, and we don't walk on our hands very well because the shoulder is very mobile, but it's not very stable. So a shoulder essentially would be an IFS joint, and a solid axle joint needs to act more like a hip and be more stable with less mobility. This is our Dana 60 1200 model lower for the Fords. You can see that we've got a one-piece lower with an integrated cone into it. It's all one piece, machined in-house like the rest of our hardware. It drops down into this cup that's pressed in just like the factory joint from the same direction. So this taper is actually inserted into the C when it's assembled, and it drops down through. You can see it has a snap ring groove on the outside diameter after this joint is pushed down through the knuckle to retain, just like the stock joint. It also has a shim on the bottom for when you get everything greased, everything sealed up, and then retained on the bottom side, just like our other systems with a larger 3/4 inch nylock. This is the upper joint from the 1200 series on the Dana 60 Fords. You'll notice that this upper piece of hardware is a single instead of a double-ended stud that we machine in-house. So the reason behind that I'm going to talk to you about here in just a minute. It has to do with these bushings, but this is how this system assembles. It's super simple. So you have the body of the joint that's actually pressed into the outer knuckle. This little aluminum sleeve is trimmed and it goes in the inner C. This piece of hardware drops down into that. Then it goes through the body. On the underside of this joint, on the press fits, we have a little stainless steel ring. Essentially what that does is it allows space between the nylock when it's tightened, so it floats the nylock just off the surface of that cup so you don't get any parasitic drag or sticky steering, which is super nice. This is the 1200 series Ford upper bushing, and we sell these in 3 different varieties. One is the 0, the 1.5, and the 3 degree, and that helps you kind of dial in your caster and camber measurements. With the 3 different degree settings, if you have a 0 degree, it's always going to be 0 degree no matter which way you turn it and no matter which way you trim it. With the 1.5, just because it says 1.5 and let's say 3, those 2 bushings in particular, any caster camber combination adding up to 1.5 or 3, it is adjustable for. If you want 0.75 degrees of negative camber and 0.75 degrees of positive caster, 0.75 and 0.75 adds up to 1.5. If you do a 3 degree bushing and you want 1.5 of each, you can literally rotate that bushing and achieve 1.5 degrees positive caster and 1.5 degrees negative camber, or any combination in between. On my left, you'll see that this flange on the 05 and up bushing is a little bit thicker. On the 92 to 2004 is the thinner. It helps you differentiate. On those axles, you will see that the offsets are set different directions from the slits. That is because in 05 and up, they put the flat on the inside of the C. On the 92 to 04, they put that flat spot on the outer part of the C, so that's the difference. The directions are unchanged because we offset those in the right direction. So in the instructions, you will see the proper way to orient those bushings and achieve any combination of caster camber adding up to the degree that you ordered. These bushings are made out of 7075 for a reason. We tested other materials like brass, bronze, 4130 chromoly. What we came up with was the 7075 works the best because if you use a material that's actually harder than the C that you're pressing it into, with the shear that the upper sees, you actually start to egg out that C that this bushing's pressed into, and you kind of negate the reason for doing a delete system in the first place because you've just ruined a C that you have to cut off the axle. So a 7075 is awesome because it will crease, it will eventually wear out, but it's a replaceable item. Replacing a bushing on the axle is a hell of a lot easier than cutting off the C and trying to replace that. So there is a reason that we do the 7075. The other reason is on some of those other materials, if they bend, they stay bent, and getting those out of a hole requires the flange to be cut off and pounded out the bottom. I know this because I tried it. With the 7075, you can bash the hell out of them, and in the end, when they need replaced, you can literally grab that and pull it straight out. At American Iron, we have a no BS warranty policy. If it's under 30,000 miles or 2 years, we replace everything in the joint for free. With your guys' support buying the American Iron line of products, it's launched us to levels that I never thought we would reach. I started this from a spare bedroom in a house that I first owned, so I truly appreciate it. It means a lot. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, or you can send us an email through our website at americanironoffroad.com.